I'm Brittney Saunders and welcome to Big Business, the place where business is far from boring. And today I'm recording on a Wobbical land. Now, I somehow managed to build an empire from the garage underneath my house, and I'm here to share it all with you, from the wins, the mistakes, the challenging times, and the funny moments in between. So whether you're in business already, perhaps you're not in the game at all, maybe you're just looking for some inspo, or you simply just want to hear the tea, this is the podcast for you. Coming up on today's episode, I want to talk about something that's a little bit personal to me, and it's something that I had a little light bulb moment about the other day when I was with a couple of my friends, and I thought to myself, I need to talk about this on Big Business. And what I'm going to be talking with you about is, I think, one of the main reasons why I have been able to achieve everything that I have done in my career so far. And it's very, very simple. Now, look, when it comes to one's success in life, whether it's personal or business or career or anything between, there's obviously so many factors. And looking at my career and everything that I've done, there's obviously a lot of reasons why I've been able to achieve all of the things that I have and do all the crazy things that I have done and am still doing. But if there's one thing that I think is one of the main leading things, and I'm wording this so badly, it's so hard to word, but if I could boil it down to one of the main reasons why I have been so successful, I'll tell you what it is: doing things quickly. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's a very simple concept, but I was with a couple of my friends the other day, and we started to have this conversation, and then it had me reflecting on my whole career journey. And so I'll paint a picture for you. I was going to see Katy Perry in concert with my two good friends, Kate and Matt. And we got to our hotel and we were in a bit of a rush because we got to the hotel in Sydney really late and we had to get ready. And so I quickly did my makeup when I got there, and I was finished in 2 seconds. And Kate goes to me, "You did that so quick." And then I said to her, "I'm going to go quickly do my hair in the bathroom." I went in the bathroom and they stayed out in the hotel room. And then I was back out again in 2 seconds and I'd done my whole hair like a triple barrel roll hairstyle. And I popped out and Kate goes, "What the fuck? Like, you just did that so quick." And then again, when we got back from the concert, it was really late at night, like 11 o'clock or whatever. And I was like, "I'm just going to go have a shower." And I came back out in 2 seconds. And she's like, "What the fuck? You just had that shower was so quick. Like, you just get in and out and that's it." And so then we started having this conversation. And Kate was saying to me, "Actually, like, now that I think about it, you do everything quick. Whether it's editing a video or acting on something." And I was like, "You're so right, Kate." And I've never actually thought about this until she kind of brought it to my attention. And then I started, spiraling on everything that I've ever done in my life in general and in my career. And I know that I'm a fast worker and I know that I'm quick to take action. But it was, doing my hair and makeup and having a really quick shower that made me just reflect. And I thought, you know what? I do things quickly. And I genuinely believe that it's acting quick that has gotten me to where I am today. And I know that's a really simple thing, but it is so powerful. Moving fast and figuring the rest out along the way. Now, let's circle back. There are a million reasons why a business or a person might succeed. And, looking at my success, there's so many factors: hard work, timing, strategy, branding, grit, blood, sweat, and tears. And I've lived through all of those things and I do all of those things. But having this realization the other day, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Holy shit, moving fast is one of my superpowers. And AJ and I are the same. And I want to go back and give you some examples of moving quickly. And it also plays into the saying that I love, which is "do it scared." It plays into this as well. And if you haven't heard me use that quote, it's my favorite new quote of 2025, "do it scared." And what I mean when I say that is, we hold ourselves back a lot because we're scared. We're scared to ask our boss a question. We're scared to ask for a pay rise. We're scared to ask for a title change. We're scared to apply for a job. We're scared to start the business. Whatever it is, do it scared. And I think my whole career, I've done it scared because, we can't allow being scared be the reason that we don't move forward with something. And I think moving quickly ties in with this quote that I love so much. So what is it about speed? And I don't want anyone to take this in the wrong way. I definitely don't want to be one to promote just fucking do it even though you have no clue what you're doing and figure out the rest on the way. You obviously want to have 80% of your ducks in a row before you go and make a decision. And I'm also not promoting, just doing something completely random that you have no idea about. But I think often as humans, we can always be waiting for the perfect moment. I will do that when I fill in the blanks. When I do X, Y, Z, then I will do X, Y, Z. I feel like we're always waiting for the perfect moment, but reflecting on my career, I've never waited ever. And I'll take you back to my childhood, right? When I discovered YouTube in high school, I would have been in year 8, I want to say. I made the YouTube channel that day. There was I was really young and social media was so different, and I guess I wasn't worried about what people would think because no one was really doing YouTube back then. But that's when it all started for me, was when I made that YouTube channel. And reflecting on all of my jobs that I had back in the day, if you listen closely enough or you follow me closely enough, you'll know I had over 20 jobs before I became self-employed. And I always moved quickly with that as well. I would get a job. My first job was when I was 14 at Macca's. And as soon as I knew that I didn't like that job anymore, I didn't get stuck there. I would move quick. I would start applying for more jobs online and I'd quickly be on to the next. And I job hopped through over 20 jobs. And as soon as I knew, I hate this workplace for whatever reason, I hated the job, I hated the people, I'd quit and be on to the next. Now, of course, I had a safety net. I didn't move on from one job to the other until I had that next job lined up. But I still moved quickly. I never wanted to become stuck and stagnant in something that I wasn't enjoying. And having this conversation with Kate just made me reflect on all of this stuff that I did in my early years. And I'm like, holy shit, I am a fast mover. And I'm fast with every decision that I make. Obviously, I then started my YouTube channel. I did that quickly. I learned I can start pumping out more YouTube videos. And by doing that and learning that if I move quick, you'd be surprised, because you're also doing it scared, how quickly things can start coming back to you and more opportunities will present themselves to you. When it come to quitting my full-time job at 21, by that point, I'd worked in so many jobs and my YouTube channel was kind of taking off, and I figured out that I was going to be earning just enough money to scrape by. I acted quick with quitting my job. I didn't sit on it for 3 years and think, should I? I had no money in the bank. I had $1 to my name, and I quickly worked out, okay, I've got to make this much to cover my $120 rent and this much to pay my petrol, and then I've got my phone bill, and then I fucking quit my job. It all happened within the space of a week. I come up with that idea of wanting to quit my job and try to make YouTube my full-time job, and I quit it, real quick. And I thought, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm just going to have to go and get another job. I was so used to that. And so I acted quick again back then, quitting my job. That was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and I made it quickly. I didn't sit there and ponder and go, when I save $5,000, then I will quit my job, which is probably the smarter thing to do. I should have had a bit of money behind me, but I acted quick and it paid off. Much like all my other little businesses that I tried, and I've spoken about them on the pod over the last year or so. When I wanted to do spray tans, I didn't sit there, planning it all out and thinking, I want to do a spray tan business, but, how would I do that and how would I get customers? I went to that local beauty supply store, spent $300, like my only $300 that I had, getting all the shit, and then I figured out how I was going to get customers. I've always done things quickly and I'm only just learning this, which is it's been like an absolute mind fuck for me to find this out. I think this is truly one of the reasons why I've been able to get to the stage that I'm at, is because I've moved quickly. I think it's the waiting and the holding and the pausing that stops us from just starting, which is what it's all about. And I could take you through my entire, career journey, but that would take forever. But just anything and everything, I always act quick. Another great example is our Fate Society Facebook community group, which has been a bit of a topic online in recent weeks. I had that idea back in the start of 2024. I thought of it one night. I went into the office the next day. I said, we're starting a Facebook page. We made the Facebook page that day. There's no hesitation or pause. I've done the exact same with my retail stores. I've done the exact same with moving warehouse, recognizing when we're growing out of this space. Boom, go on commercial real estate, find a place, move in. No hesitation, no pause. And I know that me reflecting on all of this might sound crazy to be like, and I think people are petrified of moving quickly because it's scary. It's scary to make big decisions and act on them straight away. But I'm telling you now, that is one of the reasons why I've been able to do everything that I've done. Opening our retail stores, thinking of when we just had our Newcastle store, and then I just fucking decided out of nowhere, okay, I'm going to do my next store. Just out of the blue. The next week I was down at Westfield Miranda, met with the real estate agents, boom, signed the contract. There was no, let me think about it for a while. And especially because, the store was vacant that we were going to move into. Bing, bang, bong. It happened in 2 seconds. I can't believe I'm just having this realization now at 32 years old that this is one of the reasons why I've been able to do everything that I've done. And it's such a simple act of being quick. I think this also comes down to having a lot of self-belief. It's one thing to act quick, but you've got to be able to back yourself and believe yourself at the same time. And if anything, reflecting on my whole career right now as I'm sitting in the studio, I have built my self-confidence and self-belief by acting quick. It's by putting myself out there, making these decisions, acting quickly, and not stopping to hesitate or question myself, that I've then made these crazy decisions and then it's worked for me. And I've thought, holy shit, I'm going to do this again in another way. It might even be making a new hire. I've lost count over how many times over the years, especially over the last 3 years, for example, where I'm standing there looking at our warehouse and I'm like, we need 2 more workers in here. Put the ad up today, interview tomorrow. It's just the way that I've always acted, because I feel like if you see something and you can visualize it or you can sense it. I can sense when the warehouse needs a new team member. And I'll say to the team, maybe let's go back 2 years ago or whatever, when our warehouse was a lot smaller. I'd go to, our warehouse manager and be like, you need 2 new employees. And they'd be like, really? Oh, I don't know. We're kind of fine doing what we're doing now. And I'll go, trust me. We'll put up the ad. There'll be new team members in a week or 2 later. And they'll come up to me and go, you were right, Britt. Thanks for saying that, because now we're working so much better with these extra helpers. And this is I can't believe I know I keep saying that, but I can't believe that I'm just realizing this now. I can even say the same when it comes to creating content. And I know we've been talking about content a lot on the pod recently, but when it comes to making content, some of my best and most viral moments and the pieces of content that we have put out there are the pieces that we have just shot and posted straight away, because you can sit and plan, and like it's good to plan. We want to plan out our more strategic content, like our photo shoots with models where we're shooting all the looks. You've got to plan all that stuff out. But the best pieces of content that I create today and have created over the years is when I'm sitting there and I might be like scrolling on TikTok on my lunch break and I see something and I have like an idea spark. I'm like, we need to do this. A great example is, and I think I've spoke about it ages ago on here, but when we did our candy salad videos, I'll recap it again. They were some of our most viral moments on Fate on TikTok, right? And if you don't know about the candy salad trend, it was a year ago now or something like that. And I saw, I was just scrolling on TikTok one day and I saw these American college students doing a candy salad. Okay. And they were college students in America. This trend had not hit Australia yet. No one, I'd only just started seeing all these college students and they'd go, I'm Brittney and I brought Skittles Sour Burst. And then they'd have like an ice cream container and they'd tip their lollies. Then it would be the next person. And they'd bring snakes. And that was like the candy salad. And by the end, like everyone in the college sports team or whatever had brought in lollies and they made a big lolly salad. And so I saw that at night one night and I thought, okay, we need to make our own version of this. And I really want to stress how important this is with content. I know content is always put in the too hard basket, but if you can act quickly with your content, like you're going to see so much success. And I am living proof of this. So I thought, okay, we need to do our own lolly salad at Fate, but I'm going to go to Coles as soon as I wake up in the morning and I'm going to buy a mix. I'm going to buy a mix of really good lollies and really shit lollies. And then we're going to do our own lolly salad and then we're going to piss people off that I'm putting bad lollies in there. And I shit you not, I saw this video the night before. The next morning, I messaged everyone. I said, does anyone want to be in this video? I'm going to Coles right now. I went to Coles. I bought about $50 worth of lollies and I got snakes and good lollies. And then I got mints and really gross lollies. Went to the warehouse, grabbed a few people. We filmed the lolly salad. We uploaded it that day. This all happened within less than 24 hours. Boom, that video got 5 million views. And it was then on that day that I went, holy fuck, this video has absolutely blown up. Everyone in the comments, I saw it happening before my eyes and I knew it was going to happen. People were getting so pissed off that April had the cool mints, and she'd put them in with all the yummy lollies. And then I thought, okay, let's act quick again. How can I capitalize off this momentum that we have from this lolly salad video? So what did I do? I went back to Coles. I said, now let's do a chocolate version. And so I went back to Coles again and I bought a mix of good chocolates and shit chocolates. And then we did the chocolate version. And so for 5 days in a row, I went to Coles every day. I should have bought it all at once, but we just were pumping out this content that was not planned at all. It was just a little idea in my head. And those 5 videos, we end up doing 5 different salads. We did fruit salad, cookie salad, chocolate salad. We just kept going and no one else was doing this. People were just doing candy lolly salads. They were some of our most viral pieces of content that we've ever made and they were not planned. We filmed them on the spot and uploaded them that day. It doesn't have to be planned out whatsoever. And just reflecting, I'm again, that's a great example of me moving quickly and it paying off. Just recently, we were on the news, and I'm sure a lot of you saw it if you follow my socials. And again, you've got to act quick. If there's anything that you can take from this pod, it's you need to act quick, okay? Now, obviously not everyone has the privilege of being on the news, right? So I'm very well aware that I'm in a great position that I got offered the opportunity to be on the news. But I knew that morning that our news was on that night. And so I said, I need 2 phones and I need 2 tripods. And so AJ and I sat on the lounge and we were told it was the 6 p.m. news, so prime time news. We didn't actually end up being on until 6:55, just before the news ended. And I will say, no offense, but I've never sat there and actually watched the news for an hour straight. It's always something that I have on in the background or whatever. We always turn the telly on when we get home and you hear the news. But because we didn't know what time in between 6 and 7 we were going to be on, AJ and I were sitting there on the edge of our seat, waiting for our little segment. And so I had our two phones filming two different angles. I had one filming AJ and I on the couch and my other phone filming the TV. So I had like two different point of views. And I filmed that whole hour because I didn't know like when our little segment was going to be. And then that was all well and exciting. We watched our little segment and then we like had dinner and stuff and it got really late and it got to like, 8:30 or 9 p.m. And I thought I need to like edit that little clip and upload it. And I could have been like, oh, no, it's too late at night or whatever, but I thought, no, fuck it. Like, because when it gets to like 8:30 or 9, you think, is it too late to post? I thought, no, fuck it. I'm going to quickly edit it and I'm going to post it. And then that video did so well on TikTok and Instagram. And it's just, again, because I acted so quickly in that moment. And then the next morning, I messaged our marketing team. I'm like, okay, girls, we were on the news last night. What more can we quickly do to, make more noise about this? Then we had like some social media posts go up, a LinkedIn post, because you've just got to act quick, especially if you're given an opportunity like that. And I know that's like a really maybe out of touch thing for me to talk about. Act quick when you're on the news. But, that's just the way that my brain works is when you're given an opportunity, act quick on it. Because the chances are it's going to pay off. And I know it's easy enough for me to say act quick, and I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. But wow, just having this conversation with Kate, it made me realise we do act quick. And I got to give it to AJ as well. Another thing that he does, like both him and I, we're really quick. Like we're renovating our office right now and everything's happening so quick. And whenever we see his family, they're like, fucking slow down. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is all too much. But it's honestly our superpower. I also think it's had a positive impact on my team, especially my Fate team members that have been with us for many, many years, because I think I've almost built this kind of, I don't want to say culture, but I think that's the word I want to say, where everyone in our team, like they kind of thrive and love moving fast-paced. Obviously now as the business has gotten bigger, I don't want to say that we've slowed down, but we've definitely brought in like a lot more systems and stuff so that things are moving slowly and not chaotically. But especially for a lot of our leaders in our Fate leadership team who have been with us for, over 4 years, they are all really receptive to moving quickly. And I think that helps us as a business as well, because the last thing you want is a team of leaders who, like, obviously you want everyone to be careful and mindful and take their time with things, but we've developed a leadership team of people where, if for some reason something's changed and we had a plan for tomorrow but it's now going to happen this afternoon or whatever, we have a team of yes people who'll be like, absolutely, let's friggin' do it and let's get shit done. And I think that's a bit of like the Fate spirit, is everyone just jumping in and getting shit done and not getting caught up on, no, but that's not the plan, I think it's a really good trait to have. Obviously, you want to be organised and have things planned out, but at the same time, it's such a great trait to just get in and get shit done. And even if it's not part of the plan or if it feels slightly messy, we'll tidy up the dust as it appears and we'll just jump in and get shit done. I think a lot of people may have a fear of moving fast. And I know that moving fast feels scary. AJ's mum is always going, slow down, because she like sees everything that we're doing. And like, I don't have a fear of moving fast whatsoever, but I can understand that people do, because it's like, what if it's too scary? What if it flops? What if it's not 100% ready? But I like to flip that thought. But what if it works? What if the idea sitting in your notes app could literally change your whole life if you just went and did it? And I think when it comes to business, I will be the first person to say, when I started Fate, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't write a business plan. I didn't even know what a business plan was. If I was to start a business today, would I write a bit of a plan? Yes, of course. But I think I'm living proof that you don't need to know everything. Even if you know 70% or 80%, I would rather jump in and start the thing quick and figure out the remaining 20 to 30% along the way instead of sitting there and waiting for that right moment. Stop waiting for the moment. This is the moment. Not me getting all motivational on everyone. I think when it comes to moving quickly, it's obviously something that I use to my advantage, and it's been one of my superpowers in business. But I think we have to humanize moving quickly. You obviously don't want to be moving so fast that you completely burn yourself out, which would be so common to happen, especially to entrepreneurs and founders. I think you have to be realistic when it comes to moving quickly, and maybe if you have made a snap decision and acted on it and it hasn't worked and it's backfired, I think it's important to remember that so you can learn better for next time. And I think it's also important to be mindful when it comes to moving quickly and understand that moving fast doesn't mean being careless. It means trusting your gut and acting with urgency, all while being responsible, of course. Make decisions responsibly. And I can only speak from my own experience, but I think if you were to go out and speak to any other business owner who's been in the game for a while, I think they would just agree with me on this. You know, start before you're ready. Just do it. Is that why Nike has that saying, just do it? I don't know. I can only speak from me, but I think a lot of other owners out there would agree with me. And you probably speak to a lot of other business owners who would say, I wish I started sooner. I wish I didn't wait. You know, I wish I'd started earlier. I could even say the same. Like people say, if you could start your business all over again, what would you do? And I would say, I wish I started it sooner. But then I think I started my business when I was 24. I think I was pretty early, but I should have started it when I was bloody 15. So that is my little life lesson that I thought I would share with you for this week's episode. Move quickly. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just move. And then that's where the magic begins. And I don't know if me doing this episode makes me sound a little bit crazy, but I truly think that has been one of the main keys to my success. And shout out to Kate. She probably doesn't listen to these episodes, but I'm going to tell her I spoke about her in this one. Moving quickly is absolutely one of my biggest reasons for my success. And I have Kate to thank for making me think about this in depth. So shout out to you, Dedicated Lifestyle, on Instagram if anyone wants to look her up. And to all of you listening, that's my tip of the week for this episode. Move fast and figure out the rest later. And proceed with caution as always, but just get out there and do the thing, because you might be surprised what comes of it. And I quite literally have moved quickly with everything that I've ever done, and look where it's landed me. I'm sitting here in this studio recording this podcast for you today. So that's all from me. Move quickly and remember to chase after your dreams as if they owe you money.